yeah.
Hello. So
Hi.
I am back on this live stream. I have been looking forward to this all week. I'm here with my friends Todd, the Carnivore Cure, Coach Adek, Coach Raymond, Lindy, Limitless Lindy, and Dr. Phil Smith. So a question for everyone in the live chat right now. Where are you all hopping on from? Where are you all located? I'm currently in Los Angeles. We just drove here last night, and I'll be here for the weekend to celebrate my mom's birthday. And a question for everyone here on this live stream for my friends. How long have you been carnivore so far? And have you noticed you get sick less often? Todd.
Yeah, 22 months, definitely get sick way less often. And even when I do get sick, I don't realize that I'm sick for a while. It's like every time that's happened, I just thought maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm oxalate dumping or something. And then I find out that everybody around me was sick. And I'm like, that's what was going on. That's fighting a bug.
Fascinating. How about you, Adek?
I've been 4.5 years carnivore, and actually the first time I really got sick was about 2 months ago. And I think it was COVID. Everyone was telling me, all my friends were saying, all those symptoms are COVID. And it wasn't that bad. I did feel like the lung thing that was hurting in my, but it wasn't that bad as everyone thought it would be. And I recovered quite quickly. So that's been a big difference than before. Yeah.
How about you, Raymond?
Well, so considering that I came from being sick every other month with some kind of cold, and the other months that I wasn't sick with a cold, I had UTI. So, this says a lot when I remembered when I went carnivore, and I remembered when I first got sick during carnivore. It was 2019. So it took 2 years before I got sick with something. And then, it was on and off through my journey, but I've been, 7-year carnivore right now. So, it's just, I couldn't believe that I had that length of time without sickness. So, and when I do get sick, sometimes it's a very different type of sickness. I may get like a little sniffle, and that was like it really. So I've not gotten, I'll take that back. There was recently about 4 months ago that I got where I had the flush, the bathroom kind of thing. So the stomach bug, but that lasted 3 days, but still wasn't that bad.
Interesting. How about you, Lindy? You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm coming up to 3 years carnivore, and I used to get sick, same as Raymond, every other month. Always had some kind of a bug. I've been sick twice during my carnivore journey, and I'm the only family member who hasn't had the COVID. So, and I'm the only carnivore in the family. So whether that's got something to do with it, I'm taking it as a win.
Could be.
Awesome. And Dr. Phil.
I can't remember being sick in the last 14 months that I've been carnivore, but what I have noticed is my recovery from, I've recently been through 2 hurricanes and have had to do an incredible amount of picking up of debris over the last 2 weeks. And the recovery, normally at 67, I would be so stiff, doing all this bending and picking up. And I had a little bit of discomfort the first day with Hurricane Helene. I recovered day 2 and did 3 more days of pickup. And now I've done 2 days in a row, 9 hours of work, and I'm not sore at all. So I'm pretty impressed.
Wow, that's incredible.
What about you, Bella?
So I asked this because I think 2 or 3 days ago, I posted a little reel on Instagram just talking about, yes, I have noticed, and I'm 6 years just about carnivore. I have absolutely noticed that I don't get sick nearly as often as when I was on a vegan diet. And my husband, Steak and Butter Guy, is currently sick as a dog. He's pretty sick. He has a cough. He's coughing up phlegm. He just doesn't feel great. And I purposely tried to, get that illness from him, or at least drink out of his cups, kiss him, cuddle him, like literally be near him at all times just to see if I would get sick myself. It's been 3 days since he got sick. I don't feel any.
Nice.
So I think it's really fascinating. And also the comments under that post was incredible. There's like hundreds of posts of real life carnivores, real accounts saying, I've noticed the same. I also reversed my allergies. I'm no longer allergic to dogs as well. It's so incredible.
Right.
So I'll pass this off to everyone, in this live stream, in the live chat. Feel free to share with us. Have you noticed a change in how frequently you get sick, or maybe how you feel when you do get sick? Symptoms, the length, anything you want to share. We will jump into helping you guys out now. This live stream is all about answering questions, all about giving our feedback, our own personal carnivore experience, and tips and tricks. So if you want to ask a question, definitely put a capital triple Q, capital QQQ, then type your question. This will really help Todd see it very clearly, and he will be able to put it up easily on screen for us to help you guys out with. Anybody who does take the time to share super chats, you guys can cut the line. We will answer it immediately. Okay, let's get started. Thank you, Todd. Let's put up that first question.
All right, here we go.
So, hi, Jane. You answered my question regarding gallstones 2 weeks ago, and the pain has actually gone away. Round of applause to that.
That's
so
amazing.
Cool. So her pain actually went away after 6 weeks total on carnivore. Thank you for all your help. Oh, well, I guess that's not a question, but thank you for the update. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
No more pain. My goodness.
Right? Trish, can carnivore diet heal psoriatic arthritis, Dr. Phil?
Oh, I get to answer this one, huh? Well, first off, psoriatic arthritis is an autoimmune disease, and that's manifested with the scaly plaque of psoriasis, and then you get destruction in your joints. It's a very unique arthritis, and it's very inflammatory. And we have seen dramatic healing of people with psoriasis. And I would assume that your arthritis with psoriasis would go away with the psoriasis going away itself when you are on carnivore long enough, but we just don't know how long it'll take. We've seen some people 6 months, a year, 2 years, as early as 3 months have psoriasis go away. Now, the psoriatic arthritis may have done some destruction of your joints, which may or may not reverse over time because that might be cartilage loss. But the point is you want to stop the psoriatic arthritis process in the tracks so it doesn't get any worse. So I would be very aggressive, and I would encourage you to stay very strict on carnivore, but don't expect immediate results. And if you get immediate results, that would be great, and let us know. But it's probably going to take quite a bit of time to break that arthritic cycle. But there is great hope for you.
That's awesome. And I do have a follow-up, Dr. Phil. I've always been curious, people who have the skin issue, psoriasis, like I did, are you just more prone to getting psoriatic arthritis if you have psoriasis?
Yeah, that's a great question. Why do some people get psoriasis and don't get arthritis, and some people get the psoriasis with arthritis? And I think the thing we have to recognize, and Dr. Kiltz talks about this quite a bit, that autoimmune diseases are all problems with your body reacting against its own immune system. And we classify people as having SLE or psoriasis or rheumatoid arthritis based on blood tests and based on clinical findings. But basically, all these autoimmune diseases are interrelated, and it has to do with your unique body and how it reacts and responds to an autoimmune disease. So the autoimmune disease says your body is being exposed to something that's potentially toxic to you, and your body's trying to fight back. But in fighting back, it actually fights your own tissues, and it manifests in your blood vessels, in your brain, in your kidneys, in your skin, in your joints. And So psoriatic arthritis is nothing more than a label of when you have psoriatic plaques and you have a pattern of arthritis in your joints that looks like rheumatoid arthritis on x-ray, but is really not a symmetrical arthritis and like rheumatoid arthritis is. It doesn't have any of the rheumatoid factor markers. So it's a clinical diagnosis. So I hope that explains it to you. And I would hope that you really jump in there and give carnivore a try.
All the best, Trisha. Keep us posted. Thank you for the super chat, Nav. This is his question. I'm almost 5 months into super strict carnivore. I haven't gotten any improvements in my health issues. No weight loss. I actually gained weight. I got IBS, fatigue, insomnia, and more issues. Any tips? So, Nav, can you just clarify, did you get IBS, fatigue, and insomnia after you went carnivore, or you're trying to heal those things? I hope it's not after carnivore. But I'm guessing he has IBS, fatigue, and insomnia, maybe already struggling with those things. But anyways, 5 months into super strict carnivore, no improvements. Okay, go ahead, Raymond. I see you want to take it.
You're muted, Raymond.
Oh.
Thank you. Sorry. I want to take a tackle at it. Yeah. Super strict carnivore usually means the lion diet, right? So super strict. And what I noticed that usually, and that's the case for me, if I go lion, I tend to undereat. One of the things on the carnivore diet that does not work very well is people who don't eat enough. So it is all about eating enough that actually helps us heal. And typically you'll know, I've noticed if you go on the lion, more than likely you're going to be eating 1 meal a day. And that can really tend to get to undereat. But of course, in our minds, we also think, well, that's great because we'll get into autophagy or, get the fasting benefits also. And I understand that. Problem is that if you're not properly nourished, there is no fasting that's able to happen properly. The other thing is that you'll notice that you have a hard time eating more than 1 meal, but you have a hard time skipping a meal too. So I'm not sure if that's your case. This is all going on assumptions, but this is what I've seen for super strict, if that's what that means.
Yeah. Todd, what do you think?
Well, when I was reading that, I was thinking, I gained weight priming on carnivore. Mm-hmm. I also got lethargic because my body wanted to sleep to heal. And I felt some fatigue, and I also had insomnia because I was going through biphasic sleeping at that time. So I don't think any of it, all other than I don't know what he means by IBS. Like, I don't know. I didn't get IBS. I definitely had gut microbiome changes that I was going back and forth through that time, but none of that sounded out of line. That's just where I was when I was healing for the first 6.5 months or so of priming,
Right. Yeah, for a lot of people, mostly those who have put a lot of stress on their body for a long period of time, weight gain happens when you go carnivore. So when you first go carnivore, Nav, I would love to know if you can share some more details in the chat. If you experienced an opening of your appetite, did you notice that you became hungrier than usual? Did you notice that you ate more than you usually do when you switch to carnivore? If yes, your body probably needs to heal. Your body is probably hungry for all of those nutrients, that extra meat, and that initial weight gain is just temporary. Is it scary? Absolutely, it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if you pay attention to your body composition. I gained 21 pounds and lost 3 shirt sizes at that time. So it's definitely a trade-off and better weight.
It's also baffling, huh? That you lose that much weight. You gain that much weight, but yet you lose that much shirt size. Wow. Yeah. I just can't. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, and I remember because the mental part of it was I was like, man, this can't be right because I'm tired and my body's wanting to sleep all the time.
Right.
Which used to be in my head that if you were tired, that was a bad sign, something's going wrong. But actually, it was a good sign. It was healing because every time I'd wake up, some composition changes were happening. I could see the health in my face when I'd wake up after sleeping under like that. So
that's my story.
Yeah. So with the body recomposition and being kind of confusing because the number on that scale is going up. It happened to me. I feel like when I gain weight, whether it be fat or muscle or even just some water weight, because I was eating so much, I felt like the distribution of that weight gain was different than when I gained weight on a standard American diet and even a vegan diet of just eating carbs and low fat. So don't get too caught up in the fact that you haven't lost weight still. 5 months is honestly still such a short time frame on this very new lifestyle for you. Let us know if you can give us some more details so we can circle back and help you.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. In fact, I was just thinking, I've started a new Prime about 5 weeks ago. I gained about 40 pounds. And I swear I've been looking in the mirror in the morning and I'm like, I'm getting leaner. It's crazy. I gained 40 pounds and I'm even leaner. And I'm like, this is weird how this is happening.
Yeah.
Like, a couple weeks ago, I think on our first live ever together, I said butter boobs, the carnivore female. I don't know. It's almost as if for women, when they see their boobs develop even further or grow even and their booty grow, it's almost as if the diet that they were on before carnivore, it didn't support them to mature or develop properly. It only developed after the fact, after carnivore. And Adek, I know you felt that.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced the butter boobs experience. Let's just say very nicely, and it is because I was on vegan. Of course, I'm being malnourished and lightweight, so too weight. So I'm sorry, my weight was too low. Everything was just gone, and I believe because my hormones were finally getting better and they were recovering, and then suddenly I got this whole new body that I actually had to get used to, because there's a lot of weight that comes on, but you get some good proportions, goes to the right places, such as your breasts and your buttocks. Yeah, so I'm actually quite happy. Yeah.
And just to add to that, because Adek is one of my closest friends that I got to make after going carnivore. I met her in the carnivore community, specifically the Steak and Butter Gang.
Mm-hmm.
But I have seen her before and after body progress and body pictures. She's probably not going to be comfortable to share it now, maybe in the future. But Adek literally looks like she grew at least 3 cup sizes in her breast.
Definitely.
Crazy. This is absolutely the most dramatic progress I have ever seen.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen it quite. I hope a few more have experienced it, because but thank you. I'll just accept that as my compliment.
It's so impressive. So anyways, we'll move on. Thank you now for the question. All right. Golf coach Marv. Just fasted for 24 hours. I tested my glucose at 112 and my ketones are at 0.3. Could it be out of ketosis because I worked out 3 hours ago? What do you think, Raymond, first?
One thing that I do notice is, and Dr. Baker will talk about it, when he works out really heavy, his glucose does go up, and ketones does go down. Now, I don't know why that happens, but, you fasted 24 hours. Really, and honestly, I don't see the ketones really start upping until after the 24 hours. Because as a carnivore, I'll get between 0.3 and 0.5. That's just normal. Whether I'm eating 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, it's right about that average. So I don't know if you want to get into that stickler, but also fasting, working out, although it's great, which it is great. I'm not saying it's not. It's just I don't see any problems with that. So I think it's great.
Love it. Dr. Phil? Oh, let me help you unmute.
You're muted.
Okay.
Personally, I don't worry too much about where your ketones are. You're obviously ketotic and you've just worked out. You've used a lot of your ketone bodies for energy in your workout, and you're replenishing your body. And I'm not surprised at all that your ketones drop after you exercise. So personally, I'm not quite sure why you're following the ketones and your glucose, unless you're diabetic and you're insulin resistant. But I don't encourage people to spend a lot of time or the money. It's about $2 every time you check your glucose and your ketones in the US. And I'm kind of a cheap guy. So I figure that once you've broken through your insulin resistance, unless you have a malignancy you're treating and you really want to get those ketones pushed high, I really wouldn't encourage you to follow them and worry about it, because it's just one more thing to worry about.
Yeah. Todd, what are your thoughts?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were signaling me for a new question.
Oh.
No, my thoughts were it was handy to watch ketones when I was going through some gluconeogenesis when I was working out my fat. But other than that, I don't track it at all anymore because if you track it like 5 times, you almost know exactly what you feel like when you're in ketosis. I mean, from down to your breath when you wake up in the morning, you know what it's like, So yeah I don't at all anymore.
So a lot of carnivores, when they switch to this lifestyle, it truly is a lifestyle and way of eating, not just some temporary diet or quick fix cheat code. A lot of carnivores, they also couple it with just freeing themselves from the numbers and tracking for a period of time. And that's actually very helpful because it prevents you from getting distracted and obsessed with the numbers, which a lot of us know that can be a rabbit hole to just disastrous habits and tendencies. So if you think that these numbers and tracking constantly is getting to your head, maybe just take a break from it and check it instead of every single day, maybe every couple days. Cool.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.
Yeah.
A little super chat.
I like this.
Thank you, Richie Guru. I smoke and I eat junk. If you were in my position and had to quit one first, would it be the smoking or the eating junk?
Pick me.
I know, right?
Right.
Ahead,
Yeah.
Tom.
So definitely the food, because I chewed Copenhagen long cut, not just a little bit either. I was chewing 2 cans a day, which was a lot. It's like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And I did that for 26 years and I was not planning on quitting it. And it was when I was going through priming, about 3 months into priming. So it's right at a year of carnivore. My body decided I was quitting nicotine. I didn't even do it. And I quit a 26-year nicotine habit like it was nothing last October 26. So it's coming up right on a year now. And I haven't craved it since. So I really, truly believe in, and pretty much everything that I was addicted to completely went away when my hormones got right and when my diet got right. So I think absolutely the diet first.
What would you suggest, Raymond?
Oh, I love that. I want to tackle this for sure. So I want folks to understand why this makes sense too. Okay. So if you're eating junk, you're weakening your body. Cigarettes, yes, it does weaken your body. It already has weakened your body, but a weak body will have a hard time getting rid of any addiction. That's key point. I know smokers that had Chantix, that had patches, that had the combination of it, still couldn't quit smoking. Okay. So now a strong body makes it where you're willing and able to do it. Now, how do I know this? I've gotten people to not because they wanted to quit coffee, just because they did meat first and they ended up giving up the coffee or had the thought of giving up the coffee. When your body feels strong, it feels like it can get rid of addiction. And Todd, I want you to relate about your other addictions, because it's not just the nicotine that hit, right?
No, it was soda addiction. It was caffeine. I had a 15-year gambling addiction that I had put it aside, but that monkey was always on my back. I mean, I still always had it. I mean, I was really
Did Todd
deep into
freeze?
it. No,
Todd,
can you hear me?
Yeah. Are we frozen?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry,
Oh.
that's my bad. Go ahead, Todd.
Okay.
No worries. but yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy. Like I was compulsive about everything that I did. I always was. And so everything you could turn. That was why I never took up drinking or drugs, because I thought those will take me out for sure, because I had such a compulsive, addictive personality. And the craziest thing is that everything completely went away on carnivore. I'm not even. It was the most surprising thing, and I don't know if that had to do with the anxiety and depression that went away, and there was some sort of way of coping with it. I really don't know, but it all just completely cured up. And I mean, we were just in Wyoming, and I stayed at a Indian casino for 7 days, which 5 years ago I would have went on a 72-hour bender. You wouldn't have seen me, away from the tables for 72 hours at a time, and I couldn't care less. It really is just completely gone. Every addiction, it's crazy.
That's awesome. Wow. Would you say it was more difficult? Do you mind if I share your gambling? Sorry, I just said it.
No, for sure. For sure.
That was pointless.
Do you mind if I share that you're a crackhead?
Right.
No, I just find that so inspiring, all the addictions that you have overcome.
Yeah.
Okay. So between your gambling addiction to your smoking addiction to your food addiction, which one was the most difficult to overcome?
Soda was the worst one to overcome.
Wow.
Yeah, soda and then gambling. Soda and then gambling in that order for sure.
And then gambling. Wait,
Wow.
you're telling me even the Copenhagen wasn't as hard?
Copenhagen was the easiest addiction that left me. That thing was nothing. Like,
Wow.
the Copenhagen,
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. It was 13 days of kind of some cravings, and then I haven't thought about it since. So that was crazy to me.
So even the soda was much worse than that. That is crazy.
The soda was the absolute worst one. The soda was the worst thing that I've ever had to give up. And that was even diet soda. Even when I got off the sugar, the diet soda was the worst addiction I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. So was it so difficult because all throughout the day, almost every minute of the day, you used to be drinking it as if it was your water? So when you cut it out, you just craved for it? Were the cravings very strong for you?
Oh, they were ridiculous. I mean, they'd give me headaches. I'd have like flu symptoms. I would have anxiety attacks over it. I'd get in a super bad mood. I'd be super irritable and cranky. And I mean, it was by far the absolute worst. And it took that 5.5 weeks it took to get over it with that lemonade drink that I was doing in full BBB&E. Those were not a pretty 5.5 weeks. They were not easy. It was literally, I was wake up with migraines. I'd have like night sweats and night terrors. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, can we just celebrate Todd and his many, many victories?
Appreciate it.
Great insights for people
Such
to
great
see how difficult. Yeah.
So everyone in the live chat right now, what are you currently addicted to? Or maybe you're not addicted to anything, whether it's food, drink, habits, maybe. If you want to share, feel free to share. I asked this exact question yesterday in our sugar recovery call in the Steak and Butter Gang, and it got so many just vulnerable messages in the chat. So I do love asking it whenever it comes up. Moving on. This is from Bachelor Junior. Thank you. Bella, has your cello gotten different in a good way since carnivore? I play the violin. I do not know how to play the cello. Same thing, though. Same thing. Does he mean like has the actual experience of playing it?
I think so.
That is such a good question. I would say the biggest thing that's changed when it comes to music making, whether it be for violin or piano, it's my ability to just be in the zone. You know what they call like when you get in the flow, your creative flow, like the juices are just flowing and you are so in the zone. You feel like you can create anything at the tip of your fingertips. I felt like it was much easier to get into that zone because there was that removal of brain fog. So, yeah.
There we go. We got oh, sorry, it just popped in. We got a follow-up from Nav.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you for the follow-up.
Wow.
Started carnivore because of IBS, fatigue, and insomnia. Okay, good to know. No issues with appetite. I gained fat on carnivore because I look bigger. I eat when hungry, 3 meals a day, and until I'm full. It's tough because I thought I would see improvements by now, but he's not. Okay.
Wow. So on a strict lion diet, start carnivore because of IBS, fatigue, and insomnia, and not seeing anything for how long did he say? 3 months? 5 months. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he said he was on lion diet. He said he was strict carnivore. So
Carnivore, okay.
So we ought to be looking up, see if Nav can comment on dairy, on pork, on chicken.
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
is he eating for his protein?
Yeah.
The reason Dr. Phil asked that's very important because IBS, right? So even with carnivore foods, with IBS, because of our leaky, small little layer, it leaks the protein into the blood, and that causes allergic reaction, which actually hinders healing. Those were my cases too, but I saw some tremendous results right off. So I don't know why you're not.
Well, everyone's different, Raymond. I mean,
I know,
yeah,
you're right.
he could have just have, bigger issues in his bowels that he doesn't even know. And it could, usually gut becomes worse before it hurts. And the gut, it takes long to heal. So if you're still at IBS for 5 months and you're still not healing, it took me at least 9 months before I finally saw that, that the gut felt much better, and, see it in my bathroom habits as well. So guts, it does take a long time before it really, really does heal.
So I wonder if Nav used to be vegan for any period of time. Was he vegetarian? Was he pescatarian? Has there been a time where he's been incredibly nutrient deficient?
Yeah.
That's one big question. If yes to any of those, not surprised that things are not going uphill just yet, even 5 months in. Because just now I was trying to reflect hard on my first 6 to 8 months of carnivore. Literally, I was gaining weight nonstop and so fast. I couldn't stop eating. I was very hungry. My appetite was very just healthy, but very, very big. And the issues that I wanted to heal, like psoriasis, eczema, cystic acne, energy as well, my fatigue was terrible. It initially didn't get that much better. And some of them got worse before it got better. So there are so many factors that could be at play right now. There could also be certain foods that you're eating on carnivore that might be preventing the weight loss or the fat loss that you want, like dairy. Are you eating lots of dairy? So lots to think about. Hopefully this is helpful and not adding confusion to your question. If you want to follow up, Nav, you don't have to do another super chat. That's very generous, but you can just put it in the chat and we'll still put it up. Okay.
Can I say one more thing too? Remember, our environment also has a cause. Mold, for example, there are people that are super sensitive. If you check out Michaela, when she went into the moldy house, everything reversed, and it was terrible for her, even though she'd been carnivore for a while. So your environment does matter. So don't exclude that.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Mold toxicity.
Right.
Okay, let's keep going. Oh, hi, Sherry. I know you. Thank you so much. For those using carnivore to heal bulimia, how do you manage a binge craving that comes up even after not binging in months? Not carb cravings. Thanks.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead, Adek.
Wow.
So they're not carb cravings. So we have to see if it's when you're binging, even not binging for months. Usually we always see, if there's something happening in your life, something stressful, and and you fall back on your old patterns. But what I usually advise with binge, if you have that craving, to always go into it, but then start with carnivore foods first. So if you're like thinking of, you're saying you have no carb cravings, but you might be craving for sweets or what you usually use binge on, just go into it and just promise yourself first all the proteins that you can get your hands on, and maybe give you the permission to do the stuff that you used to do, but usually you'll be too full anyways to continue, and do it with every binge craving that's coming along. So don't think this is a meal and wait for another 3 hours. If you need to binge another hour again, go do the same thing again and again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know that you had a history of binging and purging. Adek, is that correct?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, you didn't. Okay.
But it was the chewing and spitting is related to it. Yeah, it is kind of it's the habit is binging, and yeah.
So when you did the chewing and spitting, was there a reason, like, could you pinpoint how that all started? Would you say it's mostly due to trauma?
I think so. Yeah, it's also numbing the emotions, but it was also chasing endorphins. That's also one of the things that we found out recently, Raymond and I. But it was also even if I was feeling happy, I wanted to continue feeling happy, and I would go and go to the chewing and spitting as well, so I can just have that peaceful moment for a little bit longer.
I see.
So I think it is mostly emotions, definitely, and of course because it's something that's come from trauma, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Adek. Thanks for sharing. Dr. Phil, if you don't mind, have you ever worked with patients with disordered eating?
Just peripherally,
Mhm.
So I am impressed with how many people with eating disorders are in the carnivore community, though, and thriving.
Yeah.
And my recommendation is, if you do have a binge, I'm interested for the panel here. If you wanted to fill up to something that would fill you up very quickly, if you had an urge, just a ravenous hunger, what food would you pick?
I would go for steaks. I went straight to steaks first. Yeah.
Like intentionally, or just that like specific craving in the moment?
You have a craving in the moment. For instance, I could eat probably eggs until they came out my ears. And it wouldn't stop me from wanting more because I just like them that much. But
right.
So Adek said steak. If she eats steak, she fills up.
Yeah,
right.
For me, it'd have to be pemmican, right? Because these carnivore bars and homemade pemmican with that high fat content, man, that satiates me quickly.
Great.
Right. So we frequently get asked in the community, is it possible to binge, like they specifically use this word binge, on carnivore foods?
I feel like
Why are you shaking your head, Todd? What makes you shake your head?
I don't think so, because I cannot put back steak and pemmican and meat like I can put back pizza and carbohydrates and hyperpalatable food. I can put 5 times the mass and weight down in those foods as I can steak before it shuts off.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on cheese, Todd? What about cheese?
Cheese, yeah, but still like there's nothing like I don't know. Well, quite honestly, Mexican food or a burrito, I cannot put enough cheese down to even hit remotely what I could put down in a Mexican food or pizza or something like that.
I like that comparison. Yeah. So how
about you, Bella? Yeah, because
I honestly don't believe that you can possibly binge on real animal foods, like whole animal foods, not processed animal foods. For me, I do like to just encourage people to start with their meals with actual whole animal foods. Don't start your meal when you're starving and ravenous on cheese. You're not going to feel great no matter what. Or ham or bacon even. Start it off with ground beef or chicken wings or even just a steak. And when I wanted to binge, and I used to binge and purge, and I used to binge and punish myself with calorie restricting because I felt so guilty, I would want to binge on very fatty, sugary foods. So when I made that connection, I was like, you know what? I'm going to force myself to just eat sticks of butter. Honestly, I didn't even have to force myself. I loved it. It tasted like a fat chocolate bar, but without the dangers and the harmful effects. It was just the fat bar. And I would eat it frozen or in the fridge. It works. It really works when you have that craving. So Sherry, I did catch her follow-up. So let me just put it up so we can tackle it. I'm not able to do that. If I give in, I will purge, so I don't give into it.
Okay.
Congrats on your marriage. Thank you, Sherry. What are your thoughts on that, Adek?
So if she gives into eating so much carnivore foods, she will purge.
Right.
I understand now.
Have you purged as well? So is it just the thought that you're doing, or have you actually purged carnivore foods? That's I was wondering if
that's what I was curious. Has she done it, or is she thinking she will?
Yeah,
right.
Because of course it's if you're gorging on the meats, and especially when you're so hungry, it really looks like you're binging.
Yeah. But it's not. I can assure you there's a stop point, just like Todd is saying. And for me, that stop point, I don't want to go and, even if I overeat, I'll feel maybe something on my throat, but I don't want to hurl it out. And that's what we're wondering. Okay. That's okay.
Yes, I have before I stopped that behavior.
That's good to know. Good. At least she knows herself.
Yeah.
I do have one more thing that can help.
Yes.
Take a look at, can I mention a book? Is that okay, Bella?
Absolutely. Well, of course. When have I not allowed you to mention?
I know. I'm just saying. I mean, this is live to the public. So take a look at Mood Cure by Julia Ross. And the reason being is that some people, first of all, carnivore foods, what it makes it wonderful is that it breaks down into certain amino acids that our bodies need for building blocks. But some of us don't use the amino acids properly. And sometimes it's handy to know which one causes certain mood issues. So she has a test that you take for moods and you add in the certain amino acids for it. And I believe that will figure out your binge craving. That could help, is what I'm saying. Something to look at. Read her book. I got really illuminated by a lot of things she said. And of course, she's persistent on eating 3 meals a day. Now, you could do it a long way too, and just keep doing this and making sure you eat till full 3 meals a day for a long period of time. That's going to work eventually.
Right.
But if you wanted a hack, that's a hack.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, and I'm just reading her comment that she binges on sardines if I get the craving.
Sardines, wow.
That's just tiny. That's what I would say first, is why don't you go for like a bigger, like steaks first and then go on sardines. So there is something I'm thinking that your body's just hungry and it's just asking for more, because it's actually, if you're going just on sardines, I'm wondering how many sardines, of course, you're eating. Is it as much as a steak you would eat or eggs?
Well, I think a big part of these disordered eating habits is just the whole fear surrounding it as well, and just the stress surrounding it. And absolutely, there could be trauma involved or past trauma that still needs to be healed. So there is no one size fits all or one formula to heal disordered eating. There just isn't. And no carnivore diet alone may not be enough for a lot of people who are deep into it. So it sounds like, Sherry, you have a plan. You know what works for you. You know how to navigate this. And I really appreciate you sharing and speaking up about it so that we can talk about it in this live.
Yeah.
Love you, and keep us posted. Thank you for asking the question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Silly Lily. Nephew most likely has lymphoma. Is the carnivore diet good for lymphoma? Dr. Phil, if you don't mind starting.
Yeah, this is one of the so lymphoma is a malignancy of the white blood cells, the lymph nodes specifically, and there has been quite a bit of work looking at lymphoma. Most people don't know that lymphoma is not a cancer; it's a malignancy. A cancer is a solid tumor. A lymphoma is what we call a soft tumor, and it's been shown that both leukemias and lymphomas feed off, just like carcinomas do, feed off of sugar and glutamine, which are the two things, glucose. And if you starve the tumor by giving it less glucose, the cancer has less nutrition, and it's easier to treat it with the chemotherapy that we use to kill the cancer cells. And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they have malignancies, they start, I talked recently about a friend of mine that had prostate cancer, and his wife insisted that he juice and do nothing but juicing. And this was a few years ago, and his tumor just went wild and went metastatic very, very quickly. So I've seen this in actual experience, and I would follow the work of who am I thinking here? Thomas Siegfried.
Yep.
at Boston University. Start watching some of his telecasts. Yeah, strict carnivore would be a great thing to go on. And I think 5-10 years from now, we'll see carnivore diet and ketogenic diets. Let me just say ketogenic diets in general as being a mainstay of nutritional support for your treatment of any kind of malignancy, but especially the soft tumors. So look up Dr. Thomas Seyfried, S-E-Y, Fried, F-R-I-E-D. So that's how you spell that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Phil. If someone in the live chat can just type out Dr. Thomas Seyfried, then we can have it saved in the playback. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, Nav again. I did BBBE, beef, bacon, butter, eggs for a first few months, and then I did Lion, currently on Lion now, because my stools were a little bit better on Lion. No mold issues, I think, because I did move and I still have the same issues even after he moved. Got it. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It would have to be a troubleshooting session on that one, and it would have to go deep. I'm sorry to say, but we'd need to know kind of medical history, sleep, a whole gamut of things. But I'm sure you probably looked into that. And I want to tell you, don't give up. Keep going. Keep looking. There's an answer somewhere. And I like the stoic approach about this. Your answer is through. Just keep going, hammer it. You'll figure it out. And just leave no stone unturned and try certain things here and there. Meanwhile, you're doing that. You're staying strict carnivore. So eventually that may kick in too.
Yeah. In medicine, we used to say sometimes it just takes the tincture of time.
Oh, that's good.
And as I said with psoriasis earlier, some people heal very quick. Some people take 2 years to heal. But that has to do with your body, your biology, how much healing you need to do. And don't get discouraged. Be patient with yourself and give it another 3 months. And if you want some private coaching, you can reach out to Bella through the Steak and Butter Gang. And we have some great coaches who can work with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, for everyone in the live chat, maybe feeling like they could use some handholding or one-on-one help, you can email me and Jeff will put the email in the chat box. And you can tell me what you need help with, and I'll match you with one of the many coaches that I'm friends with, that I know, that I understand, like what are their fortes, what are their specialties. I'm more than happy to match you with the right coach personally. Okay, let's keep going. Michael Jackson. Wow.
He's alive.
He's alive. Wow. And he's carnivore, apparently. I got Courtney's new cookbook. Yay. We love Courtney Luna here. So definitely go follow her on YouTube, on Instagram. She's on TikTok as well. It's Courtney Luna. She just came out with a new carnivore cookbook. I have it. It is gorgeous. The photos, the recipes, the guides that are part of that cookbook are just beautifully written. So feel free to order it. I'll drop an Amazon link in the live chat, and then I'll also include it in the description box when I post the playback of this live stream. Thank you so much, Michael Jackson.
Thanks so much. I looked for a comment, but I don't see one. So I think they're just saying thank you. So that's very nice.
Thank you, Iraka. If you do have a question, put it in the chat. We'll circle back to you. Happy to help.
Absolutely. And then let's see, on to the next one. Oh, sorry, we did that one. This one.
Okay. No worries. Oh, there it is. Iraka says, what if all of you want to do is, what if all you want to do is lose weight? There's nothing else wrong. Should I be eating more fat and less meat? Ooh, let's start with Lindy first.
Well, I had worked my way up to 750 pounds, not proud of it. Tried every diet, also had lap band surgery, and none of that worked. Carnivore is what helped me. And I didn't focus on the macros, protein or fat. I just ate till I was comfortably stuffed. And I just found over time that my appetite would gradually reduce, and I've lost over 500 pounds. So I still don't track macros. Maybe that's a tool that I will need to use when I get closer to my goal weight, which I have no idea what my goal weight is at the moment, but it's all working for me still now. And I just still continue to do what I do. I don't stress about the numbers. I don't stress about the number on the scale, which goes up and down. My composition is changing. So definitely take those measurements, and don't stress. I think that stress, high cortisol levels will make you stall. So try not to focus too much on numbers and trust the process.
Fantastic advice. Go ahead,
I
Adele.
would actually advise priming. Yeah.
Scary.
It's scary, but you will actually. Well, I've lost weight on the priming, and it's for everyone different. It's different for everyone, for sure. But it's a good baseline, and if it's really losing weight, I would just advise what you crave that day, because every day is going to be different, or even phases. I had like months of that I would be eating high fat, and then suddenly it was just too much, and I went high on the protein. Yeah.
Raymond, go ahead.
I hate to cover this. It's kind of funny. I've had people that says that's all I need is to lose weight, and then they're like, yeah, later on as you dig in, you find out they have joint pains, they have things that they consider old age, and it's just rather interesting. But what I can say is, easy answer is fasting, but the problem is fasting without being properly nourished is going to lead into a yo-yo diet cycle. You may lose it for a little bit, but gain it back and then some later. So
right.
It all depends on your goals. If it's just strictly losing weight, I can tell you, and I don't want to sound too mean, but the vegan diet actually works really well, because you can lose some bone mass and some hair loss and all those.
You'll get a smaller version of yourself.
Yeah, you'll get a smaller
but
version.
You'll still have your issues.
Right. So, but she says she has no issues. But so that can work, but it's just destroying your body, and later on you'll have to pay the price for it. And I don't think it's worth that price. So giving it the time to actually nourishing it properly, respecting your body properly, and then allowing it to lose weight later on, it's probably the wisest idea in my opinion. And what I'm saying there is, you don't need to make this change drastically. A lot of people who need to lose weight, they want to lose it like in the next week, in the next 2 weeks. You can take your time doing it also. Nourish your body daily with carnivore foods, and then later on start getting into a fasting cycle as you feel like you're pretty nourished.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, could we have Todd as the example again? He's saying that, you gained, but you lost 4 shirt sizes. Isn't that more important? 3, sorry. Isn't that more important than the weight?
Yeah, well, for sure. And it's like, I also don't, I don't know, this is my feeling on it, but my personal experience, but I feel like weight is a parallel symptom to a metabolic disease. And you don't, there's no way you have excess weight if you have like an obese amount of excess weight, if you don't have something to heal.
Right.
I just don't believe that, because that wouldn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Can I just say, with priming, I did do the priming, and this is what gave me that off switch that I didn't have on every other diet. I was consumed 24/7 by food, always wanting to eat. Once I started priming, and I'll let someone else explain. It's Raymond's brainchild, so maybe he's the best person to explain what priming is, because I know there's a lot of questions in here. But that gave me the off switch. It sort of helped with all my hormones. I was completely malnourished as a 750-pound person. You would not think I would be malnourished, but I was. Priming helped sort all of that, gave me that off switch to allow me to lose 500 pounds. So
there's always so much love for Lindy whenever she speaks about her story. Lindy is an angel. Every time I look at her, I feel so much love and so much just gratitude for this lifestyle. It changed Lindy's life. It gave her her life back. It got her out of being bedbound. Lindy now drives a car when she couldn't before. So it really makes you appreciate the little things in life as well. But whatever she said, right? Yes, 500 pounds bananas. That's right. It is amazing. Yes. With priming, I see questions every time we bring up this word. What is priming? So I will just define it really quick. And Raymond, if you would like to add extra thoughts, feel free to. Priming for me, and priming means something different. Priming is an experience that's different for each person who does it, is just a set amount of time where you absolutely intentionally eat more. How much more? That's up to you to flirt with the boundaries. You are in control at the end of the day, but you are intentionally eating a lot more than you usually do, a lot more than you are brave enough to do. But a lot of people have the courage, they have the balls to do it. And Raymond created this whole protocol. He wrote the actual priming calendars, which takes level 1 priming takes 1 whole month. And it's 3 meals a day intentionally. For some people, they actually need more than 3 meals a day every single day. Like myself, I did 5 meals a day. And it depends on how much you have to heal. It depends on how long you were vegan beforehand. It depends on how much stress you put on your body beforehand. That will tend to dictate on how long you need to prime. Raymond?
I love that. And one of the key points is if you're doing coffee or tea or soda, anything, this is after the meal. And that's very important. So it would be better if you don't do any of that. Now, the other important thing that I want to say is don't be hungry. All day long, you should not be hungry. You should be eating because it's just time to eat. Another part is eating without stress. Okay, that's important. What do I mean by that? I mean that, you know, even if you have little thoughts of stress, it's going to affect your digestion too, also. Any stress affects your digestion. And right now, the most important thing is to respect that. So including physical stress, like working out too heavy. So we tell people not to prime. But we teach this every week. Am I allowed to say that, Bella?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we
You are allowed. Hold on, let me just make this clear. You are allowed to say anything you want. I am not the carnivore police.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know, I just don't want to seem like we're you know selling our program or anything. But anyways, we teach this all the time.
So I don't think you should be ashamed for talking about your own program that has literally changed tens of thousands of lives by now. Okay. If people don't want to hear it, yes, exactly. If people don't want to hear it, if people are not interested, they can just exit out. But you need to keep spreading the truth and spreading the things that have been changing lives. Just look at what Lindy said. Look at what Todd said. Look at what I said. It's really healed. It's really changed lives. So thank you, Coach Raymond. Todd, did you want to add?
I was just going to say priming is, to me, is defined as eating until you wish ill will and harm on Raymond, and then you heal, and then you have to take back all the bad things you said about him.
Right.
For sure. No
Basically, that's what it is in a nutshell. Well said. Hi, Philip. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh.
Philip says, it is an honor to be here and share this space with such an amazing community. Thank you. We are just as honored, if not more honored, to be here. It means even more to be here alongside my... Oh, it's Philip Sheeran.
That's right. It's Pastor Philip. That's right.
Hi, Pastor Philip. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a great conversation this afternoon, filled with love. Thank you, Philip.
Wow.
Awesome.
We miss you, Philip. I hope you've been doing amazing. Yeah. Wow.
He's doing amazing. Yeah, he's doing so
Great.
beautiful things in the world as well. So yeah, I'm proud of him.
Love you, Philip. Thank you so much.
All right. There we go.
Thank you, INFJ Tyrone. When you prime, don't you just lose the weight that you gained while priming, Raymond?
When you prime, oh, I see what they're trying to say. Yeah. So let's say you're priming, you gain 10 pounds, and then you get off priming, you lose that 10 pounds. I mean, if we're looking at pounds, that's highly a possibility. But the idea is what we're looking for is if we're trying to make something a lifestyle, we want to get the idea of these carb foods and sugar foods out of our minds. When we prime, that's what we do. yes, it may take 10 pounds as a cost for doing that, but then you can sustain this carnivore diet for long term. To me, that's worth that part of it. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think?
Yeah, no way. I mean, I'm down 310 pounds now. So no, it's not just losing the weight that I gained when I was priming, but also even when I am priming, the weight that I gain is not like any other weight that I've ever gained before. It's a lean weight. It's a weight that makes me want to go out and throw heavy things around in the gym. It's not a weight that makes you hurt or inflamed or have joint pain or, have a hard time breathing. It's a really good weight. It's a weight that makes you get up at 3:30 in the morning and go lift weights. It's a beautiful weight.
Yeah, I love that. Don't we say something that health gains weight and weighs more than weight loss? How do we say that?
Oh, health is way more important than any weight loss. Well, for sure. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah. Lindy, did you want to add to this?
Again, it's just that off switch that I didn't have before. This priming gave that to me. And I have introduced vegetables here and there because people keep saying to me, oh, you can just have a few vegetables. It's not going to kill you. That triggers those cravings again. And that monster that consumes me. And it's so easy for me to spiral. So I have to do a prime to get my off switch back. Obviously missed that gene at birth. So that's what I need to do. Keep it strict. And priming is the key for me. If I ever go off track, I prime.
Wow. Beautiful.
Great tool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this gentleman's.
Oh, no worries.
I don't see.
Well, while you do that, no rush. I did want to actually have Dr. Phil chime in on that question regarding priming. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Phil.
Well, I mean, for me, priming was so important because I was carnivore for 3 months and started stalling out. And I came to Steak and Butter Gang specifically because I heard Todd telling his story about all the healing that he had done. And more importantly, getting off oxygen because he was 24-hour a day on oxygen. And he was one sick dude. And I thought, this guy should have been dead in 3 months. And here he is, 300 pounds down and a lot healthier. And he inspired me, and he was promoting priming. So I started going down the rabbit hole to understand it and found out that it all began with Coach Raymond and Steak and Butter Gang and went over there and joined the team and gained 6 pounds priming. And then by the end of that month was down 10 pounds. And I think what priming did for me was to break a cycle of chronic undereating, which I had had for quite a few years. And it got me to appreciate my hunger satiety cues a lot better. So, and then I found out that I really needed the community of Steak and Butter Gang and stuck around as a result of that. So. But I'm a real pro-priming person because I think most of us undereat and are undernourished, and we can do much more fantastic things in a feasting versus and fasting paradigm than we can by calorie restriction.
Yes.
So feasting and fasting has been used for health and for survival for the longest time. So it only feels right to also mimic that same pattern of feast and fast and feast and fast. How long you choose to fast or where your sweet spot is for length of fast is going to be different, and that's okay. So I just love that Raymond helps so many people find that sweet spot where people can get off the program and just live their life and just do whatever works best for their lifestyle and their goals. So absolutely. Thank you, Raymond. So look at Raymond's
mentions, feasting, fasting being around for a long time. Believe it or not, there's a book by Lewis and Clark, those explorers, called Feasting and Fasting. Isn't that fascinating? And no, I did not get my tricks from them. I didn't know about it. I just found out because one of our members told me about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that existed.
So, Raymond, does that make you our Sacagawea?
Sacagawea.
our guide?
Guide.
You absolutely are light, though. That's for sure. You're such a shining light. So let me just quickly cover this. Good point, Oaktown Girl. You guys forgot to talk about the nutritional reasons for priming. That was a big thing for me because coming from 6 years of vegan, I needed a lot of nutrients. I needed to load up on it. And yes, priming is also still great for people who don't tend to chronically undereat. In my opinion, priming can benefit all. You just don't need to do it for as long as someone who maybe needs to heal a bit more. So the nutritional reasons for priming, because I intentionally ate so much, so many meals for such a long period of time, the nutrition I was getting in was life-changing. It was healing. It was bringing back my period. It was literally reversing my autoimmune issues. So yes, people use priming to heal, and other people use priming for fat loss. It can go both ways. And always. Yes. Love it. Let's keep going.
So found there's golf coach Marv.
Okay.
And
hi.
Question is right here.
Thank you, Todd. So he says, long story short, I lost my pops to colon cancer. So sorry. Have been keto and carnivore for about half a year now. Mom and I went keto at first, and she ended up reversing her type 2 diabetes.
That's crazy amazing.
Bravo.
Congratulations. Bravo. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
very
awesome.
Inspiring. Yeah. There is a lot of hope for managing, and I don't want to use the word curing because Dr. Phil advised me not to use it when it comes to cancer the other day, but just managing cancer and honestly prolonging life, even with cancer. There's more and more research. And again, I'll just say his name, Dr. Thomas Seyfried, is where all of the just revolutionary research is happening. So search him up, watch his many interviews that he's done, learn from him.
Well, I got to say, Phil's right. I mean, we're all born terminal, but we can live pretty long and healthy.
Yeah.
My thing is, why feed a cancer what it wants?
Yes.
Right.
Starve the cancer.
Which is what?
It wants sugar. It wants sugar.
Exactly.
It wants sugar. So why feed it what? I mean, it'll take your life, and the more sugar you get it, the more aggressive it gets. So I see everyone put it in the chat now, so we got the name document.
Perfect.
That's awesome. Here you go.
Thank you, Jazzy Jude. Would priming a day or two before doing a 36-hour fast be good, Raymond?
Yeah, so I wouldn't consider that priming, actually. So we do have different versions of priming. Micro prime would be 3 days of that. And that's what I noticed actually works to just kickstart something really quick. Like if you've never done priming or anything like that for a 36-hour fast, that will work. So about a 3 day of priming 3 meals a day will set you up for a good 36-hour fast if you're asking that.
Perfect. Perfect answer. Let's keep going. Hi, Danica. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the support. I started carnivore January 8th. I joined Steak and Butter Gang March 8th. Yay. I followed the calendars until level 4. Well done.
Wow.
And although I have been losing, I have started having horrible cravings lately. Should I start over with the calendars? You can go ahead, Raymond.
Yeah, really, I would start out right away getting into like a micro to a mini prime. So mini prime would be 5 to 7 days. Micro primes are 3 days of 3 mad. But what I do is just start day by day, feel it out. It's just like they said, eat until you hate me. So just keep going. If you feel like you're like, this is great, I love it, then you need to keep going. Okay. And then when it stops, then you're ready to get on to, let's say I would go to level 2, doing the 5 OMADs to test it out. Earlier on, we tested out with something else, but since you're used to the program, just go straight to level 2 from there.
Perfect. Let's keep going.
All right. Next.
Thank you, Todd. This is from Michael H. Strip loin or ribeye for a weight loss stall? Both.
I know, right? Both. I love that, Bella. Both. Yeah, they sound great.
What would you choose, Todd?
Oh, man. Right now, man, I'm not kidding on both. I usually get one of those. So I'll get one 18-pound strip loin roast and one 18-pound rib roast a week, and I'll smoke both of them at the same time. And I'll usually have a strip loin and a ribeye at the same time. I love those. Bella had some of them.
Don't even remind me. Anytime I'm reminded of Todd's smoked meat, I just want to drive on over and just go.
Over.
So good.
Oh,
so
they
good.
are good. Yeah, both for sure.
Both. Yeah.
So,
both.
like Phil said, the answer is yes.
Oh my God. I wish I could remember the exact question where he said that too. It was a very specific question. He was just like, yes. Yes.
It was like 5 multiple choice, and he said yes.
Right. Any thoughts, Dr. Phil?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Eat more. Eat more.
Just eat more.
Yeah.
Absolutely just eat more.
Eat
Because
more.
with weight loss stalls, that's our whole mindset is, oh, you're not losing weight. You're stuck at a certain weight. And by the way, let's not get hung up on that number on the scale. It has to be, are your clothes not getting looser? Are you actually not feeling like you're healing and moving forward? If the answer is, no, I'm not losing weight and I'm stuck, then eat more. You might be surprised by what happens. Why not try it?
For sure.
And sometimes a weight loss style is not even something bad. It's just your body taking a break from all the losing weight. It just needs to take a break.
Yeah.
Don't start panicking because you don't see the number going.
Yeah, I always like to say weight loss is not a
No.
slope. There's a lot of plateaus along the way, and that's
Right.
healthy for you.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, like when Lindy was losing 100 pounds a month, so you can only do that for so many months until you die. So your body's got to be like, whoa. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
level
but it
up.
wasn't fat loss. I had a lot of water weight with lymphedema, so don't. Yeah. I lost a lot of water weight. I don't know how much fat was in there, but yeah. And I tend to undereat a lot because I find meat really satiating, and I also still have the lap band restriction. So by undereating, I tank my metabolism. Everything stalls. Do a little mini prime, and that gets the scale moving again. So just by you can only restrict so much, and then what happens? Your body's going to stall. It thinks it's in a famine. So you have to ramp up the metabolism, get those, get it all working again. And then eventually I fall back into undereating and mini prime again. So it's just a fantastic tool to.
I love it.
I mean, if Todd and Lindy say something, because they have tried their whole lives to lose weight and get healthy. And let me just bring up the show. Is it called 600? What is it? Or I think it's called The Biggest Loser, but there's another version right now that is so popular. Oh. But this competition, these people go on and they are forced to eat toddler portions. They're forced to calorie restrict. And sure, maybe they lose the weight on the show, but every time the show follows up or people check in on that person years later or even months later, what happens, Todd?
Oh yeah, they gain it back and then some.
Exactly.
And, then
because it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. Their metabolism just takes a huge beating. They get more metabolically damaged, and then they just gain it back. They're even more insulin resistant than when they started.
Exactly. So
it's incredible.
You for sure can calorie restrict. No one here is stopping you. And like if you're that desperate for quick weight loss, it could work, yeah, but you're going to feel like crap. And that weight is going to bite you back and even more than what you weighed before. Like, how is that a win?
Calorie restricting when your body needs nutrients is like holding your breath when your body needs air. How long do you think you're going to get to do that?
That's true. That's a good one.
It's just that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, I like it. Well, that's what, and seriously, and that starts so many bad things when you do that. And I mean, man, I went through that for 26 years, and it's just like, when you do that, that's why nobody thinks that they can stay on any eating plan for an extended period of time, because they're used to having to hold their breath through the whole thing. And they're like, I need to lose all this weight in 6 months, because they know internally that that's all the longer I can white knuckle this thing. And what they don't realize is that carnivore frees you. You're just free. I don't have an eating disorder. I don't have to wake up thinking about food. I don't have to go, is this the day that I'm going to lose my grip and fall off the wagon today? None of that's a problem. I don't stress about anything. I wake up and I'm like, I get to eat ribeyes today and get jacked and healthy today. That's what's going to happen to me today. Like, it's a beautiful thing. People just need to experience that freedom. It's incredible. Once they feel it for themselves and they feel the release and the freedom, and they finally, for the first time in their life, don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. It's incredible.
It is incredible. If you don't believe Todd, all 6 of us here have experienced it. It's real. Sorry, go ahead, Dr.
Well, I was just going to say, Anna Yoakley just recently at 8:13 my time said, how does it work to eat so much food and lose weight? And I think this is a good time to answer that.
Perfect.
I ate 7,000 calories a day for 6.5 months, and I lost shirt sizes. It's in my opinion, this is all about, they need us to not understand that there's a difference in nutrition of the type of calories that you're getting. They're blaming it all on the calories, because if we ever acknowledged that there is a nutritional difference in the type of calories that we're having, then big food would be liable for what they've done to our food environment. And then they would have to take the onus, and we'd have to admit and go after these people and say, you can't have Coca-Cola, you can't have Oreos, you can't have processed hyperpalatable junk and poison yourself, and everything that they demonize, which is animal products, red meat, ruminant animals. All those things are exactly what we need to be healthy. And they did that on purpose because it was good for big food, and then in turn, big pharma. It's a complete propaganda piece of control.
So I'd love to add to this question. Great question. How can you eat more and yet still lose weight? I think it's so much more than calories in, calories out. I think all 6 of us here can agree it's not only about calories. It's about how fast or how healthy and robust your metabolism is, and also how balanced and happy are your hormones. So let's say you have a combination of an ex-vegan who had wrecked hormones and a broken metabolism, me, when I started. If I ate 1,200 calories of low-fat meals, I would continue to gain weight. And that was what was happening when I was vegan.
Yeah.
Today, I'm eating... The other day, Jorge forced me to calculate at least 3,500 calories a day, every day. How am I the smallest I've ever been? How am I literally fighting for my life to eat more so that I don't keep losing?
Yeah.
My metabolism is so revved up because now I'm adding in training and weightlifting, going to the gym.
The amount of food as well reps up your metabolism.
Exactly. So it's just like this efficient machine now, I feel like. These are real stories. These are real people saying it over and over and over. If you're too scared to try it, that's your loss. We really hope you give it a try. Yeah.
For sure. Well, I'm not. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, Todd.
Well, I was just going to say, this is what I love about Steak and Butter Gang. When you go on the Steak and Butter Gang and you hear all the NSVs and the victories of people healing, none of these people that are experiencing this are trying to sell anybody anything. This is completely unbiased, just grateful people that are getting second chances, changing their health and their life. And we see it every day. And that's what you can't discount, right? It's like at a certain point, it's not even just anecdotal anymore, because it's so amazingly common that the same stories happen over and over again. And you see people getting their life back and their health back in their face, and they're glowing and they're happy and they have this energy. I mean, it's crazy.
Don't even get me started on these members looking different. Like just the other day, we were celebrating Phyllis, right? Phyllis, and I put a side-by-side of her photo, day 1 of Steak and Butter Gang, today, a couple years in. She looks like a different woman. It's mind-blowing. Yeah.
It's good to know that you're not alone, because I went through my journey thinking I was broken. Yeah, I couldn't diet, and I failed lap band surgery. I felt like a failure at life. And to be in a community and see all these amazing stories inspired me to keep on track. And I continue to this day. I'm in the SBG gang because you guys keep me motivated. I hear everybody's stories and I know this is the right thing for me. And this is no longer a diet. This is my way of life. This is how I live forever because I feel amazing. I will refuse to go back to where I was before. And I know just introducing that one little non-carnivore item, even cheese for me is I can't moderate cheese and I can quickly spiral. So I know my boundaries and I know how to fix it. If I ever fall into a, have an off meal or something happens, I know I can do a prime. I can get back on track very easily now. Yeah. That's a very important tool that I learned and can manage now.
Can I just say something as well? Just last thing. I think we've also don't forget the stress levels that we get. If when we're eating carnivore, your body actually feels relieved, feels calm, and that helps also with the goals that you're getting and the community. That makes gives you less stress as well. You feel so relaxed because you are welcome and you feel related, and that helps a lot with your progress.
I love that. I love that the ladies said all the things that they've said. Don't underestimate the power of connection.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I also want to awaken that we have biases. We have been told things all our lives and accepted them as being true. Like eating saturated fat is bad for you. Calories in, calories out. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And restricting calories will help you to lose weight. So you have to realize that we're bombarded with information throughout our whole life, and sometimes it's not accurate information. And so it gives you an opportunity to question, is this reality or is this just something I grew up with that becomes reality? And we call it, based on the movie, the Matrix, taking the red pill when you start to see reality for what it is.
Right.
Because the more sugars you eat, the more that stimulates your insulin, the more insulin stimulated, the more fat you produce, because you store excess sugar. You don't store excess protein and excess fat. You burn it up and use it as a fuel. And that's probably the primary thing. But as Bella said, when your hormones are out of whack, you got to fix that. And,
you do.
And we could spend 2 to 3 hours on doing a biochemical symposium of all the metabolic pathways that are in play here. But just wonder, be curious, is this true in my own experience that calories in, calories out is my reality? And I would ask you to consider that tonight.
100%. And that's exactly why you need carnivore community. This is what because I just been finding this out. I try to help people on my own that contact me through, Instagram and everything else, and they don't stick with it. And that's exactly why they're still plugged into the matrix. They got to get, take the red pill and get out of the matrix and understand that they've been being lied to. And that's why I was so happy that Phil said that, because that's why it's like I'm having a hard time even wanting to put effort into it outside of SBG, because people fall away because they only talk to me for an hour and then they go back into the matrix, and the matrix tells them, no, this is ridiculous. You're going to get cancer. You're going to have high cholesterol. It's going to be heart disease. I mean, it's so hard. Got unplugged.
Yep.
That is a good point.
I see.
Go ahead, Raymond. Please.
I want to make one remark on this since we're on that matrix topic. Remember when Neo, he took the red pill, then he went into this training, into this computer simulation training, and all of a sudden he knew like kung fu and be able to dodge bullets, everything like that.
Yeah,
I think that's very telling. What I try to tell people is the answer lies in you watching yourself, observing yourself, learning yourself. This is why we go through a certain level of calendars. I'm teaching you the simulation of how to know you best. The answer is not on the outside. The doctor is telling you this or that. I'm sorry, Dr. Phil. Other than Dr. Phil. The answer is finding it within yourself. So maximize what you can to eat, get yourself fully nourished. How does that feel? What's it feel like? And then start feeling what hunger and real hunger feels like. So once you see both ways, then you can feel, oh, now I really know my body. Now I can hone in on it. Now what else can I do?
Remember in the Matrix when when he was spinning the spoon and he said, it's not that you're bending the spoon, it's that you're recognizing that there is no spoon?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Right. Well, there is no calorie. You got to recognize that there is no calorie.
No calories, that's right.
Right. Exactly right.
I love it. Wow. Thank you, guys. Great answers. Moving on, this is Jane. Thank you. My partner has systemic scleroderma. How well will the carnivore diet help with this? Dr. Phil?
Well, again, this is an autoimmune disease. And as I said earlier, all the autoimmune diseases mean that your body is attacking the normal you because it's trying to get rid of something that you're doing that's not it doesn't like. And today, they're coming up with these monoclonal antibodies to give people to treat every autoimmune disease. But we have seen countless people heal their autoimmune diseases and put them in remission with eating the proper human diet. And so, yes, I believe that it will help.
Good.
Perfect.
All right. Let me get down here. Here we go.
Hi, Brian. Good to see you.
Oh, Brian, my goodness.
Yes, Brian is back too. He was here last week in the live.
I love that.
By the way, everyone in this live stream, I see all of the SPG members. I see their profile pictures, familiar faces. I love you guys. Thank you for hopping on this live stream and supporting and chiming in regarding a lot of the things that we teach in SPG. But I just want to announce that it is going to happen officially every single week, these live streams. So you can all look forward to regular live streams on Todd's channel, Lindy's channel, my channel, whoever wants to broadcast on their channels as well. It will happen this same panel. Maybe we'll have some rotating guests if you guys want, every Friday evening. So there it is. Okay, so Brian just says, I love that you guys are doing these lives. It inspires me to keep on track. Thank you, Brian. We love you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Yay.
Thanks so much. And I'm trying to find a question here, and I cannot seem to find one.
So I had one from Vintage Carnivore from really early. Can you go near the top?
That's
somebody in Australia that has their cholesterol's gone up really, really high.
Right.
Okay.
I got it.
They were like, okay, great. So for my American friends, what Vintage Carnivore says, I know my cholesterol will rise on carnivore, but it's gone up from 11.45 from 6.4, and my LDL's gone up to 9.45 from 4.6. So for my American friends, this is measurement of millimoles per liter. And so I made a little calculation sheet so I can sound intelligent.
You already do, though.
Yeah.
But he started out with a total cholesterol of about 250 and an LDL of about 180, which were high to begin with, according to the lab scales. And he's gone up to about 445 on the total cholesterol and 365. So the reason I wanted to bring Vintage Carnivore's question in here is if you have the numbers, Vintage, go ahead and post your triglyceride and your HDL level because we all know, including myself, that many of us, our cholesterol and our LDL will go up when we're using fat primarily for the calories that we're burning every day. But what you want to see is your cholesterol raising in a non-inflammatory way, and that's indicated by your triglycerides being under 150 and primarily under 100, but under 150 would be an initial target. Bella's are 15, which is the lowest I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And to get your HDL cholesterol above the normals for your gender. And normal HDL in males in the US is 40, and for females is 50. But in the UK and Australia, normal is 1.0 millimoles, and females is 1.2 millimoles. And the triglyceride level in the UK would be less than 1.7. So what you want to do is, if you can post those tonight, maybe we'll get to it and come back and circle around. But make sure that you do get the full lipid profile and know what your HDL and triglyceride level are. And Dr. Ken Berry has posted some very good videos on this, as well as Dr. Robert Cyes, CYWES. What's he called? The carb addiction doctor, I think.
That's right.
Handle. And he's got some tremendously good science-based literature reviews on how you assess your cholesterol level, your lipid levels, I should say. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Dr. Phil.
Perfect.
No problem. A common question.
Yeah.
Let's see. I will just pull that up and say, if you have a question, please put it in there. I don't think she put one in there. So,
okay.
Thank you so
Jewel,
much.
Yeah, if you're listening, Jewel, put a question. We will circle back to you. Thank you.
For sure. Going on to the next one. Here we go.
Thank you, Slappy. 3 weeks into carnivore, prior, I had the standard American diet and I would get shaking finger hands when trying to make delicate movements. I borrowed my aunt's blood sugar test and I was at 70. Any tips?
So is he saying that prior times he had shaking fingers, or does he still have it in carnivore?
Right. I guess it would help if he gave us some more details. So he's definitely saying before, when he was eating a standard American diet, he would have the shaky fingers.
Yeah.
And then now on a carnivore diet, his blood sugar is at 70. Maybe he wants confirmation that he's in the right direction, or is he concerned about this number? What do you think?
Well, I can comment on this one because, well, some people might think their blood sugar of 70 would be something concerned about because it's too low. It's actually a very good blood sugar for someone who's on carnivore, because you're starting to use fat adapted and use fat for power. And my first couple of months, I was curious of what my ketones and my blood sugar was, and I tested them a total of 5 times over 1 month, and then put it away and said, this isn't helpful. But my blood sugar after a fast would go down to as low as 55, and I'd have no symptoms at all. Wow. The most common cause of finger shaking when you're trying to make delicate movements is the onset of something called intentional tremor, which is a benign process that actually runs in my family. My dad has it, and he's 95, so it hasn't shortened his life. And my daughter has it as well. And I've noticed my dad, who's been following this way of eating for about a year, I see him having less of it, and his was pretty bad to where his handwriting was pretty bad, but it's gotten much better. I see it when he signs his name. I don't see the shakiness anymore. And this isn't to be confused with Parkinsonism, which calls a resting tremor that goes away when you go to do something. Attention tremor is no tremor at rest, and you get shaky, which is a really bad thing. And I used to operate with a surgeon who had intention tremor, and that was very exciting. Very exciting because his head would take so much, but he had done it for so many years. He was still a great surgeon. Made me nervous.
Right. Real seeker there.
But don't worry about your blood sugar. That's totally normal.
Perfect. Let's keep going.
There we go.
Thank you, Kat. My issues and questions were too much to fit in a super chat. So, what is my best move to get help outside the live? Join SBG. Adore all you guys, by the way. Thank you, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
What do you think, Adek?
Join SBG. Go to Bella's YouTube here. I'm sure you're going to post them here, right? And Instagram. And we've posted on. If you can follow us, you'll see all the links to join the gang as well. Yes, please join us. It's so much fun too. Yeah.
And I also understand that some people, they can't necessarily afford SBG, which is $30 a month, by the way. You can email me at sbgchallenge@gmail. I'll put it in the chat too. And let me know that maybe you need some help with joining the community. I'm happy to explore options with you. For those who want more tailored help, like one-on-one, again, email me sbgchallenge@gmail.com your issues and your goals, and I'll match you with my many carnivore coach friends, people that I know. I'll let you know who I feel like can help you best. Yes, if you want. And for free, you guys can subscribe to everybody's channels here, except for Dr. Phil. He's exclusive to SBG. Todd, Lindy, Adek is on Instagram. Raymond is on YouTube and Instagram. You can feel free to watch their content. It's for free. You can join Todd and Lindy's many live streams in addition to this and get a lot of help still.
And I still answer questions. So
where?
On Instagram, if someone comes in, I can't help it. I need to help them.
That's so generous.
Hey, Bella, I saw someone earlier say they don't get notified about your YouTube videos, and they didn't think you were making very many of them, but you post at least one every week. So I noticed on YouTube that YouTube every so often resets my notifications and tones them down. So but Bella, I don't get a notification of her YouTubes either, even though I have notifications turned on, but she does come up in my feed pretty close to the top every day. So when she posts a new one, so I would check your notifications. I think one of the, if you have an iPhone or iPad, I think one of the updates may have reset notifications a different way. So you might want to look into that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. I must have missed that chat. If you guys are on phone right now, you just click on the little bell button and it should pop up a little list of things that you can do. You can click on all to be notified for everything. You can click on personalized or turn it off by clicking none. I post every week, so if you don't get notifications, maybe try resetting your notifications if you want.
For sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's funny how you don't have to refollow and re-notify the bell on Big Food and Pharma. I feel like, who knows for sure, but I feel like there's a lot of people that say that they feel like that's a little bit of shadow,
As Alice in Wonderland said, curiouser and curiouser.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Before I get to MM, let me just quickly ask. I'm super curious. How did you guys know this live stream was happening? Everyone in this live stream right now, did you get a notification? Did you RSVP in advance? Did you see it in SBG? Feel free to just share in the live chat, just for data. Okay, MM says, thank you for the super chat. I'm on week 7 of carnivore. I am supplementing with vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, and potassium to avoid leg cramps at night. Does anyone else supplement? And when should I wean? Lindy, do you supplement?
Sorry, I was muted. I do have vitamin D and folate only because my blood test revealed I was deficient, and I've been deficient in those like even pre-carnivore. So I still supplement with those things, but I don't use anything else. No.
How about you, Adek?
Well, lately we've been experimenting with supplements and just trying to find out if I do need anything or something. Last I did try magnesium again and actually got low leg cramps for that, so I took them out. So I believe that I don't need them. But like amino acids, I've been experimenting, and I've found out that I really am having a great time in my mind and mental health with 5-HTP. So I'm going to continue with that. Good dreams, by the way, on 5-HTP. And and just being, and I just feel like it does help with my serotonin levels. Definitely. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Together with carnivore, I would not like say I'm just not like relying on these things. It's also
it's a little accessory.
Yes.
Great. Todd?
I just use iodine and I do the optimal aminos are my favorite ones, and that's all that I'm still doing. I've gotten off of everything else, including salt, and that actually way tamed down. When I got off salt and started dry fasting, I stopped drinking so much. When I stopped drinking so much, that way tamed down the leg cramps, so I don't need it anymore.
Love it. Raymond?
I actually started playing with a little bit of magnesium just to see, but I don't notice any difference with it. But I wanted to see what the Huffa is for everybody. But I stopped having leg cramps a while back. I remember the best thing for leg cramps was because I did try like bouts of magnesium and all that for leg cramps, and that never did anything for me. So, but I started adding it again because I hear it's really good for amino acids if I'm doing amino acids, which I am. So I thought I'd do that, but I don't really see a difference on that. But I do see the difference in amino acids.
Awesome. Dr. Phil?
I go to a magnesium sulfate float spa once a month, which is very relaxing, feels great on my muscles. I usually fall asleep floating on water for an hour in a sensory deprivation tank. And it's just is the most relaxing thing I do. And I take vitamin E, which is really weird because I live in Florida, but a few years ago, my level was down to 6 because I worked day and night and never went out in the sunshine. This year, I've made a more intentional effort to get more sunshine. And so my plan is to get another level checked at my annual visit in January. And then if it looks good, stop it and see how I do with it and recheck it in 6 months. But I had to stop other electrolyte supplements because I started getting increasing leg cramps, and Raymond recommended I stop taking supplemental electrolytes, and that actually solved my problem.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
Very eye-opening, right?
Yeah. Really weird.
Yeah.
Which goes back to what Raymond says. We're all different. And we it's hard to make generalizations with carnivores because we need to just pay attention what our body needs at this moment because it does change over time.
Love it. Thank you guys for answering. And I'll just answer, when should I wean? Go by your symptoms. Like if you wean off, for example, and do it one at a time to observe and know what is causing what. If you wean off magnesium and your leg cramps get worse, maybe that's not the right time to wean off. Same goes with potassium. Vitamin C, you actually can get that in meat. You can honestly wean off of that anytime when you're carnivore. Vitamin D, that depends on if you're getting good sunlight where you live. If not, then like Lindy, she supplements with vitamin D. It's a personal choice. I've stopped. That's up to you. We all have quite strong opinions on vitamin D, I will say, that I've learned in this carnivore community. Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
I just saw that Kat has joined us. She decided to join us. So welcome to the community.
Start posting, start hopping on our Zoom calls. Yes. We are excited to welcome you in. Yay.
So we do need to do a time check, Bella.
You're right. Thank you, Dr. Phil. So we actually have Dr. Anthony Chafee visiting as a guest speaker in the gang. So that's in 16 minutes from now. So we will wrap up in the next few minutes. So Todd, do we have a bunch of super chats?
We only have this one. Okay. And then please don't send any more.
Yeah, please stop.
Not for super chats.
Do not. do any more super
And
chats. We have to wrap up.
vintage Carnivore's also responded about his cholesterol levels.
Oh,
He's
did
just-
he?
We did.
Yeah, I've just starred that one. Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's talk about foamy urine first. Perfectly normal, and those are fat globulars. Those are the ketone bodies and fat globulars that are getting into your urine. And so you just play the song "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles," but you're really peeing bubbles.
My God.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the lab test. I got my cheat sheet here.
Great.
Oh, so HDL is 9.9. So an HDL of 9.9, I got to look at my cheat sheet here.
Pretty high.
Is that's I don't think that's possible.
High, right?
Yeah, that's like
Is that
I've never
total?
seen someone with an HDL of 380. So
380.
I can't. I don't think that's
Is
a
it
real
just
value.
total cholesterol, Dr. Phil? Just like LDL and HDL together?
I said total HDL.
I know.
Oh, non-HDL.
Non-HDL. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So it's total HDL is 6.5.
Okay.
There you go. So that's still coming at 250,
Still
which
big.
is incredibly high.
Right.
Yeah, I would look at your triglycerides and make sure. Let me look at triglycerides in your measurements. You want your triglycerides to be about under 1.69, but if it's under 1.13, less than 1.13, it's even better for your triglycerides. And I would watch the videos I told you about with Dr. Robert Saiz and Ken Berry, and then work with your doctor to discuss risk. And you might want to watch a video that I did, an interview with Bella. I think it's called Carnivore Doctor. It's in this SBG YouTube category.
I
from
will
a few months
quickly
ago.
find that video so I can link it. It is such a good video.
Because my cholesterol has gone up from total of 180 to 311, and my LDL has gone up to like 280 or something, or really high. But my triglycerides are 68, and my HDLs, I think it's 52.
Fantastic.
So I'm not worried at all. And in fact, with full transparency, because I'm having some issues with my pacemaker, I'm going to have a cardiac cath done on the 28th of October, which will be the fourth one that I've had. I had a heart infection, which I talk about in the video that Bella just posted. And I'm just getting my heart reassessed, and that's from damage from 2001 from a viral infection. And we'll see if my coronary arteries have gotten plugged up on carnivore or not. My prediction is no, but we'll see.
Find out.
Yeah. We'll see.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for the super sticker.
Thank you, Ricky. No question attached, right?
No.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. I see you in the chat in almost all the lives. Thank you for the support.
This
Awesome.
one, she had a super chat earlier as well, but she didn't have a question attached.
Good for you.
Oh, right. Jewel. That's Jewel. So
Oh,
Jewel says, I am not on any medication. I'm 78 years old, very active, and I work out. Dizziness, but I do have dizziness about 2 times per day, then maybe a month of nothing. So I'm guessing she's wondering if that's normal.
Dizziness.
Well, dizziness is not normal, but you have to define what dizziness is. So there's 4 types of dizziness that we think about as doctors. One is what we call orthostatic dizziness, which is when you stand up too quickly, your blood pressure doesn't get up to normal immediately, and you get a little lightheaded. We have a dizziness called vertigo, and there's 2 types of vertigo. One where you feel like you're spinning, and one where you feel like the room is spinning. Those are usually related to your inner ear, although there is a viral infection that can give you transient vertigo. And then the fourth type of dizziness is what we call presyncope, which is people that are actually getting to the point where they can even pass out or faint. And that's due to vagal tone being too much. And probably can't answer your question in the short time we have today, but the fact that you're 78, active, working out, make sure you're drinking a lot of water, and check your blood pressure when you are sitting after 10 minutes, and then stand up and immediately take your blood pressure after 1 minute, and see if perhaps your blood pressure might be dropping a bit over if it's dropping more than 20 points. You look at your medication list with your doctors, because when you've been on carnivore, sometimes you do need medications adjusted if you're on medications, or you need to be drinking more. So those are all things I would look for very quickly.
Oh, there's Kat.
Okay, let me just cover Kat's, and we will have to wrap up so we can all take a break. So Kat, the 30-day challenge just refreshes about a week before each new month to say September, October, November, December, January challenge. But really what this community is for is anyone who needs help anytime throughout the month, you join, and your membership literally just renews the day from when you join and 30 days after that day you join. So honestly, it doesn't really matter what day you join. You're still going to get that whole 30-day experience before you have to renew, and you can cancel anytime, no questions asked. Hopefully that helps.
And there's replays that you can go back several years.
That's right. You have so many playbacks to enjoy on your own time. So great.
All right. I just wanted to put a couple things in there. One, Adek, if you'd write your Instagram in the chat for everybody.
Sure. I can't get it to go into the chat though, but it's just Adek carnivore. Very easy.
Okay.
Yay.
Oh,
Adek.carnivore.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we should mention in the description of this video on the playback, the SBG link is in there if you guys want to join up. And also Hack Your Health is in there with coupon code Carnivore, capital letters. That gets you $100 off, and you can come see us in Tampa in 2025. And Bella's got a huge panel going on.
Fantastic job, Todd. That's why we need you. Let me put that in the chat. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next Friday, happening every week. So join us again. Have a beautiful night. Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.